Welcome to the first episode of Your Athletic Story. Today, we have a very special guest, my friend, Erol Antonio Ersek. Thank you for being here, bro.
No problem. It's a pleasure.
All right, so I don't want to do you any false or anything. I don't want to say anything wrong, so please introduce yourself.
My name is Erol Antonio Ersek. I'm from Vienna. I've been playing basketball for a while now, and now I do it professionally. And yeah, I play in Germany right now.
All right, so I know a lot about you since we've been friends for a while, but I don't know why and how you actually started playing basketball. So why don't you start from there?
My dad was always into basketball. He used to play in Turkey. My dad is from Turkey. And so he got into it, and he was playing all youth, national team, everything. But then he injured his knee, and that's how he came to Vienna. And actually, he didn't want me to play basketball first because he was worried I'm going to injure my, whatever. And I did, but I'm still good. Yeah. But then I remember going to my brother's games. I have an older brother, and I was there cheering him on as a kid. But actually, I played tennis first because my dad was really like, hey, you should try tennis. So I did. And I met one of my oldest friends there. And then he was like, hey, I'm going to basketball. You want to come with me? So he actually took me to my first basketball practice when I was 7 in some gym, some shitty gym. But
yeah, so that's crazy. So you come from a basketball family, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. But you came to basketball because of a friend, not your family.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Now thinking back, it's kind of weird because I had so much basketball influence, and now they're still really helping me every time I make a decision or something. I always talk to them. But I actually, my first practice was because of my best friend back then.
Did you have any pressure starting playing basketball because of your family? Because, coming from a basketball family, I know your cousin plays in college as well. And, your brother, you said, played. Your dad was a pro, right? So is there any pressure, you have to be good at it or
none at all,
perform well and all that?
My parents never pressured me at all. My father was never the loud parent that was screaming from the stands.
You know those sports parents?
Screaming from the stands, hey, you should do that and that.
What do you think about that? I think because there's a lot of controversy when it comes to sports parents. I don't get it. I don't understand, especially in America.
I feel like a lot of times they try to compensate that they didn't make it or anything, and they're trying to force their sons to do it, which usually, sometimes it does, but usually it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But my dad was never like that. I mean, my mom was just cheering me on because she's my mom. She cheers on everything. She's from Chile, so they're really woo.
Does she have any sports background? You guys are tall.
Not really. I mean, she's tall for a Chilean, which doesn't mean much. Which doesn't mean a lot, for real. But no, it's pretty much all from my dad. I mean, I'm the tallest now. I even grew over my dad, so.
How tall is your dad?
Lucky. My dad is 188.
All right, so it's not
but
even.
I think he used to be 190.
Your brother is tall too, right?
No, he's 186 or something. So I'm 10 centimeters taller than him.
You're almost 2 meters, right?
I'm 196.
All right, very exact.
Yeah. Hey, we just measured it a couple days ago. That's why I know it.
All right, so you started playing basketball because of your friend. He took you to basketball practice. I know you played for Timberwolves in Vienna Timberwolves before you moved away. But so tell me about that. How did you get?
Well,
there?
It was my first club that I went to with my friend. He
How old
took
were
me.
You?
I was 7, I think. Right. Yeah, I was 7. So he took me there, and from then on, I just kept on playing, and it was fun. And then I started to get good. And at 14, I was okay, hey, I'm quite good at it, so why not give it a try and see how far I can go. And then I also went to the sports school that we both went to.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they have different sports, and I went there for basketball. So we had a lot of practice. We had practice in the morning, then we had school, and then we had another practice usually. That was tough, but it was good in the end. And then when I was 17, I went to, because they have a cooperation, Timberwolves and FC Bayern Munich have a cooperation. So we went there for a tryout, and then I tried out, and
Yeah, I was gonna come to that to see how you actually got to move away, because you were pretty young, and I think you didn't even graduate. You did the last year.
Last 2 years I did online,
long distance,
because I was just 17 when I moved away.
Yeah.
But in Austria, there's not too many clubs where you can really like.
And basketball
evolve.
isn't that.
It isn't it yet.
Yeah.
Yet, I hope it will change. So when you're good enough, you usually try to get out somewhere, and when I got the chance, I took it.
Yeah, so going back to the school time, because I think it's one of the only schools in Austria where you're actually a student athlete, like just like that type of student athlete where you can actually train, go to school, and then like it's like kind of like young professionals. How did you deal with that? Because I mean, we've had different sports there, American football, basketball. So I was there as a football player, and the competition was really high, and then going to school with the same people, training with, so you would see them all the time. You didn't really have that much break. How was it like? Was the competition that high with the basketball players as well? How was it for you?
I think there was. I mean, I think there was low key. I think there was some jealousy too, like going around. I mean, I didn't know too much about it because, I mean, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I usually always got like favored. And I played pretty young for the first team in Vienna. Yeah. Which was second league Austria. It's not too amazing, but still it was a pretty big deal back then. But I feel like the school was a lot of characters. It was a lot of strong characters because everyone came for their school like, oh, he's the athlete, he does this and this.
And just then, athletes in general.
Yeah, and then you just come to the school and like, everybody's an athlete. Like
everyone is good. In other schools, like you're the one, you're like the special one,
you're
and
the
then
one.
There everyone is on the same level, or if not higher.
Yeah, and I think some people struggle with it.
You didn't.
I never really thought about it.
But how did you deal with it? That's the thing. So I remember I struggled with it. That was a big thing for me. I struggled with it. So that's what I want to know. How did you deal with it? Was it just second nature to you to ignore it, or did you like sometimes struggle with it and then find some coping mechanism? How was it with you?
I mean, sometimes you think like, I mean, when you look up to the oldest, which you always do, there were like Marvin Ogunzipe, he already left to Bayern. Yeah. I mean, obviously Jakob Pörtl, who went to the fucking NBA. Sorry, can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And I mean, there was a lot of. Huh?
Did you play with Jakob?
Yeah, he was like one of the older guys. I was like the younger guy he would like mess with and shit. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, of course, there's like some kind of pressure you look up to. I mean, in my age, there was one other guy who was always like my guy that I like had to compete with. But yeah, to be honest, I wasn't really in that mode because when I was very young, I moved to Germany and I more so saw my competition there.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so there around, I saw my competition. I was like, okay, these are the guys who got.
So you didn't take the guys too serious. Let's put it that way.
Nah, I don't want to put it that way. Yeah.
So school time. It was a sick school time though. That our school.
It was amazing. Our school was fun. Our school was fun. We had characters for sure.
We had characters. If you put that many athletes from different sports together, you're gonna get no girls.
That was a big difference too. Because there was no behavior.
The testosterone was crazy. Oof. Yeah, but we had a good time. We had a good time. That's why we met as well.
Yeah, we met there. We met at the
sport week.
Yeah, exactly.
But then
it was fun.
Yeah, and then you moved to. I think it was a year after that. So exactly a year after that, you moved to Munich to play for Bayern.
Yeah, exactly.
Take me through what made you make that decision. I don't think it was an easy decision.
Of course not. I mean, I was 17. I had my girlfriend back in the days in Vienna. So I was thinking about it. I was talking to my parents, obviously. And I don't know. I mean, it wasn't too hard for me because I always knew I have to leave at some point. Yeah. So I kind of knew that it's already going to happen. So it wasn't too big of a deal.
How were your parents with it?
My mom,
they were supportive.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course she was supportive, but she didn't want me to leave.
Obviously.
I mean, that's obviously. I mean, my dad obviously didn't want me either, but he sees it like more, okay, it's his chance, just do it.
For the progress and development.
I mean, they never said, hey, do this or do that. You have to do that. They just always left it up to me, which is which I'm really grateful for.
Yeah. It makes you take responsibility
at
a young age.
Exactly.
I think that's always good.
And it was the right decision as it turned out.
Were there any fear of failure there?
For sure. I struggled the first year. I really struggled because I had to adapt to the intensity they have over there. Yeah. It's a whole different game. I mean, Germany is like rising in the basketball scene right now. Yeah. And it was completely
way more popular.
It's way more popular. There are way more people. It's way more competitive. I mean, talking back, under 14, I think 3 of our guys, me and 2 other guys, we outscored the whole team in the final. 3 guys.
Holy shit.
I mean, come on. But like Germany, it was competitive. Like there were so many good players. And I played at Bayern Munich, so there were so many talents.
Exactly.
And you had to like
shove around a bit.
And I had a really, really, really tough coach. Serbian one. Old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. First year was really tough. Then I went to
also like a bit homesick as well. You don't have the same support.
I don't know any people there, whatever.
Just new city. I mean, it's just 3 hours away, so that's good. It's not like you're like in America or something.
Yeah, I know, but it's still like you can't just come for a day. That's the thing.
Obviously.
I usually don't have more off days than one day.
Yeah. I'm surprised you're here for so long now. I think it's the first time you've been here in Vienna for such a long. Like 2 months?
No. I just arrived. I mean, I had season till mid of June.
Yeah.
So then I came here.
All right.
So it's like a month now. No, 2 weeks now.
2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks now.
You were gone as well.
Yeah, I was gone in Paris, but 2 weeks now. I mean,
but you're
nothing.
staying till end of July, so that's nice.
Yeah, I am.
That's it. So looking back at the tough time, you said the first year, did you play a lot? How was it going with that?
Nah, I mean, in the under 19, I played a lot, and I was a starter and everything, and it was going well. But in the Pro B, I struggled because it was a whole different intensity. Yeah. I wasn't used to it.
Adults.
Not at all. Not at all.
You were playing with big boys.
And they were really good players too, like players that play now in the German First League and for national team and everything. So we had a good team. The first year was tough, and then came an even tougher time because I played national team that summer, under 18, and then I tore my ACL.
Oh, fuck.
Which was really, really tough for me.
I thought you said you didn't have any injuries at the start.
No, I mean, I did. I said I did. I mean, it's great now.
All right, perfect.
Thankfully, but I did. I tore my ACL, which wasn't
an easy journey.
No, not at all. And then I had a great rehab coach who brought me back. It was really tough. It was a lot of hard work. But then I came back the end of my second year, and I played a little bit, like the last few games of under 19 and 1 or 2 Pro B games, and I played pretty well. So, that was tough though.
So, I just want to know, like, I think there are a lot of people, a lot of athletes, no matter the sport, when they switch cities, switch teams, get away from their families and so on, they have a tough time. And not a lot of people give up, and some people just work hard through it. I just want to know what helped you, or how did you get through the tough time, or did you think there is no second option like that?
I mean, obviously, like, I really thought about like not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
But at some point, I don't know. I've been chasing this dream for so long, and I was like, hey, it makes me happy. I mean, I love playing basketball, so why not just fight through it? And at some point, it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
And
also through the ACL as well.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough one when I had that. But like the Bayern people called me and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna be okay." And I'm like, "Okay,
at least you had the support from the team."
I had the support.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, a lot of teams were like, "Oh, whatever." But no, like coach called me, their manager called me, everything. Like, "Hey, before the surgery," and like, "Hey, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna come back." And so it was really supportive, which also helped me. And then I came back.
All right, so you know what we do, like about our whole concept of your athletic zone or even your athletic story. We like to go through the mental challenges, so the mental side of sports rather than physical. And obviously, injury physically is tough. You're in pain, but I think from experience speaking, I think mentally is even tougher, right?
Yeah.
And like, take me through the tough times mentally. Like, what was the worst thing? Like, obviously, you have some performance anxieties, some anxiety just generally giving everything up, sacrificing so much, and then just not being able to do it. But confidence-wise, coming back, I think that's also a very.
I mean, it's kind of scary because you think like, ooh, I'll never be the same. Like, I'll never come back the same. Which, ironically, in my case, I probably came back stronger, like with my knee.
Yeah,
and
but
everything.
how? That's the question. How did you do that? That's our.
It was a tough time. I mean, obviously had a support system with my family, friends, everything. So I just kind of fought through it. And I mean, you can always look at some legends who also got injured, but they got through it. So I was like, hey, why not me? Yeah, why not me? Like, I was working out a lot, and then at some point, my knee was feeling better and better, and I was like, hey, I can do this. Yeah. Like, at some point, it just clicked. I'm like, hey, let's just work, and then at some point, it's gonna work out.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I feel like throughout everything you've told me now, you've been very confident about what you do, like about your basketball skills. Let's put it that way. Very confident in your abilities, right?
You have to be.
I know, but not everyone is. Like, you know, some people are at the start, you know, when they're young, and then it just kind of shatters.
I know.
When they get or opposite way. Like, what is your source of confidence?
I mean, I've always been confident because I've always been like, I always had like kind of a feeling, and in Vienna I was like big thing and everything.
Boy.
Then at the beginning of Bayern, I was like, okay, I'm still confident, but I'm like, a little less. Like, oh, they're good too. But I don't know. You can never, like, confidence is the most important thing. You have to have confidence, otherwise it won't work. Yeah. And at some point, it's also like a little cockiness. But you gotta think that you're better than that other dude. Otherwise, if you give up, I mean, I've seen a lot of people. Yeah,
we have all. Like, just look at our school.
Yeah,
just like look at our
school. A lot of people who were talented at everything, but they were not confident enough. Like, also when, I mean, my national team coach, actually, when I was under 18, before I tore my ACL, funny story, he was also, because when I was walking around there, I mean, obviously, like, I had some big confidence coming from Germany. First year, okay, I did it. I fought through everything. And I was just like, hey, right now I feel like I can beat everybody. Like, everyone here, one by one, I can beat everybody. And he also mentioned that. He was like, hey, like, everybody's got to be a little more cocky. Like, I am sometimes. I mean, it's usually, like, a little negative. Yeah. But in sports, you need it.
Oh, definitely. I definitely think you need it. Because I think it's underestimated how competitive the whole sports scene is. Just... Also, just the characters, as we talked about, just the characters in sport. Your teammates, your opponents, you just have to have that little niche, you know, that little edge of cockiness if you want to do it. And you can bring any athlete here, and it doesn't have to be their sport. You can play video games, you can play fucking Warzone, you can play FIFA. We can play FIFA. Yeah. You're not even a football player, and you would be competitive as fuck.
Yeah, I would be mad. I would be mad if I lose. I probably would lose, but I'd still be mad. Still get mad.
But I think it's underestimated how difficult it is, how much people sacrifice. Like, as you said, like, from 7 years old, just to get there. And I don't think if you don't have a strong character, you just can't get there. And you need that cockiness. I don't think it should be highlighted in a negative way unless it's too much. You know,
the thing is, you have confidence, but you still need to work in a team.
Exactly.
We've had 1 year. I think that was even like the year I had my torn ACL, or the year after. No, it was this year. We had a amazing team for Pro B, like amazing talents from all over Europe. Incredible, but they just didn't work. Too many characters, too much, like
the balance.
They didn't. It wasn't there, and we sucked. It was a terrible season. Like, we were terrible. So,
but fuck it, you had a great year. You had a breakout year.
Last year was great. Hey, we were the youngest team I think ever in Pro B. Nobody expected anything from us, but we got along well. Yeah. A couple of guys showed up, and we had a great fucking season.
Yeah, and also I think with the cockiness and just being confident, you have to be able to back it up. If you're confident and there's nothing behind it, you know,
there's also
you're
people
not gonna
that do that. But
exactly, you're not gonna go that far. So I think that's the difference. So confidence without any talent, you're not gonna go far. But talent without confidence, you're not gonna. It should be the right balance. I think
it's the right balance, probably. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about. So as we said, breakout year.
Yeah.
You've had a sick year, man. Like I mean, I've been following it from distance, so I don't watch that much German Bundesliga basketball. So take us through your year. That was a great year.
This year I actually was supposed to go somewhere else for the year, but that didn't work out. So we just stick to it, and we were like, okay, I got one more year here. Let's just do the best with it. And as I said, we had a young team. Like I think 2 players or 3 players played in this league before. The other ones were just young guys who've never played on that level. But we had a great coach. He was really tough but demanding. Like he wanted to win. He didn't care that we were young. He said, a thing he said is always, there's no young and old. There's only good and bad. That's true. That's true. And so he, from the start, gave me a lot of confidence. He's like, hey, I need you to do a lot. I want you to do a lot, and I expect a lot from you. That's what he said. And I was like, and I knew that's going to be my role. And that's also kind of a reason I accepted that's okay. Like, okay, I'm staying, like, because I had a role like that. But then we just started playing. He gave me the confidence. He gave me the ball. And I just played well. I made my shots throughout the season. And I just kept on actually getting better and better. And then,
Yeah, you got a call up to to the first team, right? National
team, I got called
up
for the first time.
How was that? It must have been a great feeling.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, that's always like one of your goals. Yeah. When you grow up, you watch the national team games, and you're like, hey, I want to be there someday. Yeah. So it was great to get called up. I mean, I know Raul. Funny story, actually, my dad coached him when he was playing in Austria.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad was a coach here in Austria, like during med school. But yeah, he called me up, and he immediately let me play because he thinks the same.
Raul is the
Raul
head
Corner.
coach.
Yeah, exactly. He's the coach of Bayreuth, also a Bundesliga team in Germany. And we were in Slovenia, and yeah, he let me play from the beginning. And then also like second window, we were in Kiev, and same thing. Like it wasn't a one-time thing. It wasn't like, hey, let's try out if you can do something. I mean, I also played quite well, but still. Yeah. And then now I'm in it. Like, it's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice milestone to achieve.
That's nice.
Right?
There was also probably like a good confidence boost that gave me like a little edge, like for the season. He was like, okay, hey, I play national team now, so let's do this. And then,
that's. I don't think there is a lot of stuff that's gonna make you feel better than playing for a national team. Like you're representing.
Yeah, and I played with some great guys like Rashid Malbasic, who played in Germany 4 years. He played EuroLeague, everything. Thomas Klepper, who plays Bundesliga. Marvin Ogunzipe. Like I played with great guys, and I learned from these guys.
That's like, I think, unvaluable, like how much you can learn and just
crazy.
The experience and stuff.
Yeah, like the same with Bayern, because I practiced with the first team, especially at the end. I was fully with the first team. I also got to play some games.
We're going to get to that.
Oh, we're going to get to that. Just to learn from these guys is amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. And I think it's all, I mean, I'm sure they were very welcoming.
Yeah, they were really nice.
You under your wing,
I mean, I was the youngest there. So they were like always like whenever I had questions, like, hey, do it like this, like that. And
confident as ever. Cocky as ever.
There's a funny story. Like in Kiev, the second window.
Yeah.
We had a second game against Hungary, and we lost the first one in overtime by so much. Like it was fucking ridiculous. He hit a game winner bank shot, like with the glass. Like, come on, whatever. But then we had the second game, and the second game didn't mean anything pretty much. So it was sure that the young guys are going to play. And actually Rashid had like a speech, and he was like, hey, come on, everybody. And then we was talking to the young guys. He was telling this guy, like, hey, just play, just keep on going. To the other guy, hey, you really got to step up. And to the one guy, like, hey, you really got to shoot. And then he looked to me. Oh, you gotta shoot anyways. Well, I was like, yeah, okay, you're right, though. I am.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that just speaks for itself. And even your teammates, like the older guys, are just like, you're gonna shoot anyways.
I mean, you have to. I mean, I've missed some opportunities when I was too hesitant. There used to be really my problem, where it was like too much respect or anything. I just wouldn't do anything or wouldn't play the way I used to because I had too much respect or I'm scared or whatever. Yeah. And at some point, it's just like, hey, if you get the opportunity, just.
How did you get over that, though? I don't think it's as easy as you say.
It is not easy because I struggled with it for a while, probably. Yeah. But
what was the click? I mean, I'm sure at some point it just clicked and then you just stopped, or
I don't know.
Did you go through something? Did you try maybe a conversation with your dad? Probably.
Most of the times with my dad, but my dad always told me, like, back in the days already, like, you have two great, like, you're too nice. That's like one of your best and one of your worst qualities. Yeah. And in this case, it was one of like more the worst one because I was just too nice in the court. I was like, oh, these guys have been playing there for so long. But at some point, I was just like, hey, fuck it. Like, I want to play here too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm asking, though. Do you know what helped you not give a fuck?
I think kind of national team did probably because I got a lot of like confidence from the coach there, and then I just started playing.
And also playing with those type of players.
Yeah, and I started playing, and I realized, hey, I can play here. Like, I can do this.
You belong there.
Yeah, I belong there. And then like same with Bayern. Like then when I started with the first team, at first we just played some scrimmages or whatever, and then just kept going.
Yeah. So talking about going up to the first team, Bayern. You had a sick game. You had a crazy game, didn't you? Was it your debut? Was it?
That was my debut. That was your debut for Bayern. Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. That must have been a debut to remember.
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean,
you were like from 3 points. You were
3 from 3.
Yeah, you were.
I was 100% from the field. 3 from 3.
And 2 for 2.
And no, 3 for 3, 2 points and 2 free throws.
That was sick.
That was crazy. That was crazy because like this week, we played against the best team in the Pro B.
Okay.
They had a huge budget, everything. They were going up for sure. Great players. They had great players. And we played them at home. And we were like, hey, let's just try. Why not? And I had 41 points that game. Yeah, I had 9.
Was it your high?
Yeah, it was my career high. I had 9 threes. And like confidence was through
the
roof.
Shooting.
Yeah. And then like suddenly they were like, hey, you're playing on the weekend for the first team. I was like, damn, okay. And I expected actually that I'm going to sit. So I was like, okay, I'm going there, but whatever. But then Andrea Trincheri, the head coach, he came up to me and was like, hey, you're here to play. You're not here just to watch, because a lot of guys were sitting out because EuroLeague and Bundesliga just way too many games, so they had to sit out. I was like, damn, okay, I guess. And then I just started playing, and I actually hit my first shot. And from then on, it was
just like
just going.
Second nature, right?
Yeah.
Routine.
At some point. But
yeah. So, I work with some athletes when it comes to their mental coaching or just a mental game. And usually I ask them to imagine or remember their best game ever and the worst game ever. And then compare them and say the difference there. How many % was it mental? How many % was it physical?
It's usually always way more mental,
right? So
always.
if you think about it, like just about that performance, which is I think a highlight, and also coming off a career high as well. How many percentage of it do you think was mental? You being mentally fit and just being mental in the zone, if you want to call it, and how much was it just?
I mean, it was basically all mental because physically, I played a game the day before. I was actually done. Like physically, there wasn't much left. It was the end of the seasons too, so. But yeah, it was just mentally. He gave me some confidence, coach, in the beginning. He was like, hey, I know you can play, just play. And that was it. At some point, you just don't think anymore.
It's just second nature.
Yeah, it's just second nature.
Yeah, just being in the zone. It's like you just automatically do everything. But that's I think that as soon as you start thinking during the game, that's where shit
it's crazy. When he subbed me out and I had like 10 points, I was like, shit, what's happening, bro?
Bro, you were missing. You were hitting everything. You didn't miss shit.
I wasn't missing like one shot. I was like, damn, shit.
Yeah, but how was it like after the game when you finished?
It was crazy. I didn't realize it. I couldn't.
How long did it take for you to realize it?
Probably next day. I was like, all right.
You woke up and you're like, holy shit, you did that.
Damn.
Yeah, and how was the attention like coming off that? I think like you got a lot of attention.
A lot of attention. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was my debut for Bayern, and I played really well. I had a lot of attention coming my way, which was kind of overwhelming.
Was it?
But at some point, it was like, hey, I didn't do anything yet, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the beginning. I want to be there, and I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna have 100% constantly, but like.
You just showed, but you did show that you can do it at that level.
Yeah, I know. But that's my goal, and I didn't do anything yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, I have 2 questions about 2 decisions you've made. I'm gonna start with one that you did recently, which is going away from Bayern and going to a second Bundesliga, right? In Germany. So, what made you make the decision, especially after having a breakout year and going up and training and even getting some play time?
Yeah.
Deciding to say, okay, I need more maybe reps, like I need to progress more before I can play at that level. So what made you make that decision?
Well, one point is that I'm still a foreigner in Germany, and you're only allowed to have 6, and the other ones are imports, and you're only allowed to have 6
EU
imports.
as well, like just
no, not EuroLeague.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
no,
EU,
EU,
but EU
yeah,
as well. Yeah,
yeah.
it's EU as well. So, and I mean, it's Bayern Munich. They have some great imports, like great America. Ones. Yeah,
they had some from NBA, like
a
couple of years
amazing,
ago.
Amazing players, amazing EuroLeague players, and so it's really tough to get in there, obviously. And it's my last year now as a foreigner, and this team. Actually, it's not really common to take a 22-year-old Austrian as a foreigner in Pro A either, because Pro A is usually all American, like get American guys and let them play.
Yeah.
But Tübingen gave me the chance. I talked to the coach. He has confidence in me and what I can do. Yeah. So I think it was the best decision. And after this year, I will become German, and then we'll see.
You'll become German.
I still play for the Austrian national team.
Yeah, you're gonna betray us.
No. I'm not gonna do that. I'll still play for the Austrian national team.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But I count as a German.
Yeah, that's good.
That's amazing.
That's perfect for you, like step career. So you wanna stay in Germany for now?
For now, at some point, maybe somewhere else. But for now,
which takes me to the second decision you made, like which is a while back. I mean, we the last time we had a conversation, proper conversation, not playing video games on the mic and everything, but proper conversation. You still didn't sign a pro contract, and you were because you still wanted to go to college. America, and obviously NCAA with their rules and all. Yeah, you couldn't. So what made you? And I think you wanted that for a while.
I've actually always wanted it. Yeah. To be honest, that was one of my goal probably, but I could have gone to some college for sure. Yeah. But to be honest, I didn't find the right one, and I didn't find one that would make me, because Bayern wanted to keep me too, and the one that would convince me to give up what I had there. So that was probably the reason why I stayed.
Was it hard to make that decision? Because I think as a basketball player in Austria, while playing maybe under 14s, 15s, just growing up, I think NCAA or just playing college, March Madness, shit like that is one of those goals or dreams.
Yeah,
was it a bit hard to just change your goal, because you have to adjust your goals? I think
of course,
it doesn't matter how you plan your career, your life, or whatever. You have to be able to adjust it. Was it difficult to adjust that?
Not really, because when I was in Munich, I obviously learned way more about European basketball. Okay. Because they play in the EuroLeague, which is the second best league in the world. Yeah. And so you learn way more about European basketball, and you realize how fucking good it is. It's amazing.
Look how many Europeans are playing in NBA now. It's just getting more, and so many getting drafted.
Giannis, Jokic, Doncic. There's almost the three main guys in the NBA right now, and they're all European. So it's crazy.
So that I wanted to ask you that. Even before we started the podcast, I wanted to ask you that. What happened? Because I realized when I talked to Mark, your best friend, our common friend, good friend. Yeah. And I was like, he didn't want to sign a contract last time I spoke to him, but it's been a while. So must have been a tough decision still.
Yeah, it was kind of, but I mean, to be honest, it was also kind of nice to get paid. It is kind of nice.
Pull that up. NCAA just changed their
oh yeah,
rules.
they can get like advertisement and all that.
Up? There is like a new. They can earn money with their name. And
I
it's
think
today, from today, 1st of July.
Make money from their name, like advertisement,
sponsoring,
sponsoring,
like
which is, I mean, come on,
they
bring in so much money for the college.
The revenue is crazy. They're like a multi-billion-dollar business, and the athletes are the money makers, and they don't make
they don't
shit.
get anything.
Zero.
That's crazy.
And they would get banned. Like they would get banned if they would. Like how?
I mean, they all kind of.
That's what. But I saw it today. It was like they can make money off their names, but they're still not gonna get paid from the teams.
But at least
something at least.
But like I just watched a Fab 5 documentary about the Michigan Fab 5, where Chris Webber, NBA legend, played, and at some point he was like, "Hey, they sell my jersey for $75." And I don't get anything. Yeah.
That is cool.
So,
what is it? Social media can sell. Sell autographs. They can sell autographs now.
Oh, ooh. They can get paid now, which is, I think, only the right thing to do because they deserve it.
What do you think about NCAA generally?
I feel like it's kind of like they're trying. Also, with that move, I feel like they're trying to save it.
Yeah, but it's because of G League. No,
yeah, because the G League takes now people from high school and they get paid. They get paid
and they can go to NBA afterwards. They can get drafted.
So I feel like that's one of the moves to kind of save it, because otherwise it would probably die out, to be honest.
Yeah, makes sense. But I think like generally like being able to be, because how many athletes do make it to NBA? You know, I think it's good that you get a free education and you get a good education. For example, if you go to UCLA, you're like an Ivy League university, you play basketball, maybe you make it, maybe not. Like Westbrook, he didn't even want to go to NBA. So I think it's a good way to get your education,
for sure,
maybe make it, but it's a bit fucked up.
I mean, for sure, and that's what they always said. Like the colleges always said, but they get their education for free, but they get
that's the minimum.
Billions of dollars.
But that's the minimum they can give. And like the education is, they're still represented. Like imagine how much money a player like Zion would have made that 1 year in college.
Exactly. He was already like one of the biggest stars in basketball in the world.
People knew Zion and they didn't know some of the NBA players.
Exactly.
Or even in high school, like LaMelo and so on.
Yeah, it was crazy. And now it's only right to let them earn their money that they deserve.
All right, so when are we going to see you play in the NBA?
Bro, I don't know.
Is that dream?
I'm focusing in Europe right now, but maybe someday.
Is the dream still alive?
It is always a dream. I think it's the dream of every basketball player.
Obviously, yeah.
But, bro, you can be really happy in Europe.
I know. Obviously, like even just EuroLeague. I think you can be very happy. You can have. But
if I play EuroLeague one day, that's like.
For sure.
I made it. For sure.
Do you have any like long-term, short-term goals that you would like to share with us?
I mean, probably like my first goal that I want to achieve is play in the Bundesliga, like average, like just play there and be good. And that's pretty much it.
That's good. So it's taking step by step.
Yeah, step by step.
Any deadline on it? Till when you want to achieve that? Or you're not stressed?
Not really. I mean, obviously as soon as possible. So maybe in 2 or 3 years.
All right. So I think with the confidence you got, I think Bundesliga.
Maybe, yeah.
Bundesliga in 2 or 3 years is the minimum.
Nah, I'll be there.
All right. So first of all, thank you for sharing everything. Is there anything else you would like to share with us?
I don't think. I think I said everything.
That's good. Before we finish it off, I would like to ask you, and I think we're gonna make this one of our traditions, that before we finish the podcast, is there any advice or anything you would like to share with younger athletes when it comes to the mental game in sports or the mental side of sports? Any advices or any tips you would give them or give your younger self as well?
My younger self would probably be like, be more confident in your abilities. Don't back down from others. just because they're older or have a name or whatever. And yeah, that's pretty much like the most important thing, because I used to do that a lot back in the days. And then at some point I just said, hey, fuck it, I want this. And that's the point when it clicked. And then I just went on, and now I'm on my way.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
You got you.